armor. When I'm not dancing, I am the creative director for a statewide public education campaign about early childhood, which is based out of Burlington. And then I'm also an artist on the side, and I do pet portraiture. So from before I was in kindergarten, my mother put me in a creative movement class at this little tiny ballet school that was actually in a church in my town. And I really enjoyed that as a sort of creative expression of dance. But at the age of 9, I went to a real-life ballet studio with this pre-professional, very strict training regimen because my best friend was doing it. And it really sparked my competitive spirit because I realized that this was a really advanced technique that I wanted to master and get very good at, which is just something that kind of runs throughout my entire life. So I started taking class regularly, and by middle school I was going to ballet 5 days a week, and we were driving an hour to and from ballet. My mother was, doing all of this commuting with me. And she, at the same time, had put both of my brothers into ballet because she wanted them to be able to move on the dance floor as men. So it was a family excursion like every single day of the week. And then as I got more and more advanced in high school, it was like 6 days a week, and we were performing twice a year to very large audiences. We were doing the Nutcracker and then a spring show, which had traditional classical choreography. So it was a pretty intensive experience, and it really dominated my childhood growing up. So I decided that rather than going the professional route, I wanted to go to college because there was just so much more in life that I wanted to explore. And I stopped for about 8 years, and then in 2010, I had just moved to Vermont. I was like getting through my first Vermont winter and feeling really stir crazy and wishing that I had some sort of indoor exercise I could do that I felt really good about. And I was like, well, what about ballet? So I Googled ballet online, I found Spotlight, I found Chacha's drop-in class. I was not really expecting too much. And I took the class and I was blown away by how good Chacha was as a teacher, the way that he taught technique. He was teaching me some things I had actually never even learned at this very advanced school. So I started coming regularly again and developed friends there. And so I've been doing it now for 4 years with Chacha, 5 years. And coming back to ballet has been a very good growing experience for me because I'm now experiencing ballet in a completely different way than I was before. Before it was extremely competitive, as I said. We were always competing for roles and for the teacher's attention growing up and for possibly this dream of becoming a professional dancer. So it was all about being good and needing to prove yourself. And in Chacha's class, it's much more about taking the time to work on the things that you personally need to work on to feel good about your craft of ballet. So the whole outside pressure is off. It's just an internal sort of guidance. And Chacha's very supportive of adults learning dance. So I feel like I've actually made great strides in these years with Chacha, and I feel in some ways like I'm a better dancer than I ever was before. So when Chacha first presented this idea, I was skeptical because I couldn't understand it. I couldn't really synthesize what he was talking about, and I was picturing this sort of hokey thing, I didn't get it. And also I was thinking about the enormous time commitment and, would that be worth it to do this for free when I have a very busy life outside of ballet? And I'm really, really glad that I decided to give this a chance and go for it because it's turned into so much more than I ever expected. And what it has done for our class of students, I see that it's giving the women so much more confidence and it's giving them a real purpose in taking ballet. And I see that they're really finding themselves through this, and I think performing is going to be a new experience for a lot of these women, and I'm excited for them to have that experience and feel that gratification of somebody appreciating all of the work that they've put in. So yeah, huge kudos to Chacha for taking a giant risk with this really out there idea, and I've been also very excited to see how it's just caught on like wildfire in terms of Vermonters being excited about the concept. So we just finished our week-long intensive, which was an hour and a half of class and then 2.5 hours of rehearsal. So 4 hours a night of dancing every day of the week, Monday through Saturday. That was intensive. You know, the first couple of nights it was like awesome, and then I felt my energy and my muscles just like waning through the rest of the week, and that was just like a small taste of what it's like to be a professional dancer. So in that sense, it was really cool to be, you know, able to have that experience of this is the life of a dancer. And it gave more credibility, I think, to the professionalism that we're all bringing to this project, in that we're so committed to it being a really good product at the end. Man, we all did it, and we all hung in there, and we did it every single day, and I'm very proud of us, and we made incredible progress over the week in terms of learning the pieces and, you know, smoothing everything out. So I'm really excited about the show at this point. Now that I can see the entire scope of the show, having run through it several times, I think it holds together really well, and I'm sort of amazed that it hasn't been done before, actually, which is, I think, the mark of a great product, a great project, that it just seems like a duh sort of thing. So I really like how it just goes through the seasons, how it follows the work of a farmer, but also the really enjoyable, gratifying parts of being a farmer in terms of the relationships with the animals and seeing the crops grow, and also the challenges of having to deal with the weather. It really gets into all of the neat details of farming, and I like that it's drawing attention to that livelihood. My favorite dance in this show is the Coppelia dance, which is the finale. In this dance, my character gets to do a lot of really fast jumps and pretty complex footwork, and that's sort of my favorite stuff to do in ballet. It looks very showy and it's really challenging, but I have an aptitude for it, so it's fun to be able to actually do it. And it just, whenever I'm bouncing around that much and expending that much energy, it just makes me feel good, you know, it just gets me excited emotionally. So that's the one that I'm really looking forward to performing, and I'm glad that it's at the end, because it's going to be, I think, just a really strong ending for the whole show. I think that anybody who is really into the Vermont lifestyle and into the arts should come and see this show, because it encapsulates so much of what makes Vermont amazing in terms of being set in our beautiful scenic outdoors, highlighting the whole farm-to-plate movement and the locally sourced healthy food movement here, which is so important, and I think a shining star nationally, really. And, you know, the dance is going to be good. Like, all of the pieces are coming along really well. I think people are going to be very impressed, and I think the fact that this is a cast of very varied and diverse levels of experience and backgrounds just makes it all the more impressive, and all the more easier to kind of get behind and root for. And I really hope that the people who watch it, some of them come away feeling inspired to try dance themselves if they never have before.